Here we go, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Dr. Chad here, and with me here is Elaine. I'm super excited. She's going to be sharing her health journey with you. It's super inspiring, and also some of the results that she got from our collagen. So if you're someone who's on the fence, wondering whether or not collagen is going to work for you, does it work for other people, I think you're going to get a lot of great insights with this interview. So Elaine, thank you so much for coming on. How are you today?
I am doing fine, Dr. Chad. Thank you so much for having me on.
Awesome. Why don't we dive right in and maybe just start with telling our listeners maybe a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, your age, your occupation, whatever you do.
Okay, well, my name is Elaine Warsinger. I live in Long, South Carolina, which is just outside of North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I moved down here just 2 years ago from New Jersey. And I wanted to move here because it afforded me to have an active lifestyle. I love warm weather, love to be out, love to walk, love to be active, gardening, walks on the beach, bicycling. And those things were easily afforded to me by living down here. And so that was one of the reasons that I moved. And I am retired, which I'm really enjoying. And so I
Good for
have
you.
all, yeah, I have all the time that I need to do the things that I want to. And one of the things is really including a really healthy lifestyle. I've
Oh,
always loved a healthy lifestyle, and um, I think I was brought up that way, and I have continued on that path.
I
So.
love it. I love it. I always say one of the best investments you can have is the investment in your health. So very good. Well, why don't we start with this? What was the number one problem you were having before you started Native Path Collagen?
Well, back in 2015, I had hurt my back a little bit, and I had gone to a chiropractor who said to me, "Do you realize that you have scoliosis?" I said, "Well, yes, I
Hmm.
do." And he said to me, "Well," he said, "listen, I think that with," he said, chiropractic and physical therapy, I think we can do a lot for you. But he hadn't said anything about my bones per se, but I was very faithful. I went 3 times a week, did my physical therapy, worked out in the gym. And by the end of the year, I had probably an 80% difference in my spine. So,
Mm.
and I was doing well. So I thought, hey, this is pretty good. I'm going to keep going on, no problem. And I went through 2015 and 2016, and somewhere along the path of 2016, they said to me, "Oh, we've done a couple little blood tests on you, and we see that you have diabetes." I said, "Diabetes too?" And they
Mm.
said, "Yes." So we're going to keep an eye on you, and we're going to do some work with you. And he said, and we have medicine to give you, and we want you to
Hmm.
follow a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. I said, okay, well, I think that's I'm doing that now, but obviously I wasn't. And so um, the years went by, and all of a sudden they said to me, we think you might have a little problem, with your kidneys. Let's send you
Mm.
to a nephrologist. Well, going to that nephrologist was probably the best thing that I ever did, because he was way far and beyond just a nephrologist. He said, I don't like the fact that you are having very high calcium readings. He said,
Mm.
it really worries me. He said, and you've done everything I've asked for. You followed a healthy lifestyle. You've stayed away from, dairy and a whole bunch of other things that, would contribute to high calcium. Let's get you over to an endocrinologist.
Hmm.
So I went to the endocrinologist, and she said, I don't like the way things are looking. She said, go downstairs and get a bone density scan right now. So
Hmm.
down the stairs I went, and I came back, and she, within like a week or so, she had the results, and she said to me, you have very thinning bones, she said, and
Mm.
more so than most people. What have you been doing? And I told her, and I said, I've been doing and following everything everybody's been telling me to. I've been, staying away from high calcium and doing the things that I needed to do to keep myself healthy. She said, well, I really don't like it. I see markers, and I see, that you need to have somebody else look at you. She said, and you have markers for a possibility of multiple myeloma. So
Mm.
off I went to the oncologist. And he said to me after 2 weeks of blood tests, he said, oh, well, you don't have multiple myeloma. But what you do have, he said, is your bones, he said, is throwing out the calcium. And
Mm.
anybody that knows, he said, that has this issue knows that, the blood, the bones actually have to, heal themselves. And they do this constantly by, getting rid of the old blood cells, the red blood cells, and getting rid of them and making new ones. Well, you're not doing that good. He said, so he said, what you're doing too is you're throwing out the calcium, and that's why your calcium is so high. So I said to him, well, what is it that I need to do to make my bones, become stronger? I mean, he said, well, what are you doing? And I told him, yes, I'm going to the gym. Yes, I'm lifting weights. I'm doing the kettlebells, I'm
I love it.
stretching. I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do. And he said to me, well, he said, the only thing that I can tell you is, he said, keep doing those things. But one of the things I want you to think about, and here comes the medicine, he said, maybe you should be taking Prolia. I said,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
oh, really? I said, well, thank you very much. And, I will, take it back to my endocrinologist and discuss it with her. But at the time, I was getting ready to move to South Carolina. And so by the time I went to South Carolina, I met my new endocrinologist, who then said to me, hey, maybe you want to take some collagen.
Mm.
So that's how it all started. So I started researching, and I found Native Path, and I thought, this is really what I want to do. I come from a medical family, and even though my father was a pharmaceutical research and really, has discovered many things that have been a great uh, thing for people through blood pressure medication and
Mm-hmm.
kidney issues, he always told me, he said, the best thing you can do is to try natural approach first, because you don't want to be taking, and this is his life, this is his, his business, this is what he does for a living.
Yeah.
He said, always go for the natural cure first. And if
Uh,
you can do that, he said, then he said, you're ahead of the game. If not, you always have the option of going with the medicine. And so
yeah.
that's the way that I felt. I didn't want to um, continue to go down the path of taking more medicine and more medicine. And they all have side effects, nobody really discusses those side effects, but they're always there. And
Uh,
so I began to take the collagen, and I would return to her every 3 months, and she said, "You're doing well. Just keep doing what you're doing." And then I started reading some of the articles that you had in Native Path, and I thought, you know what? Maybe I'm not taking enough collagen. I think I better start taking 2 scoops. So I started taking 2 scoops, um, and I started feeling much better. And I the watershed moment came for me is, well, actually there was two. I happened to be at a friend's home, and there were two people, and they're looking at me so strangely, and I said, what's the problem? And they go, your skin is just glowing. And I thought, well, that's pretty good, for 69.
yeah.
I'll take that anytime. So they said, your skin looks good. How's everything else? I said, you know what? I didn't really think about it, but my nails are nice and strong. I
Mm-hmm.
said, and I looked at my face, and I thought, you know what? It really does look different. It's tighter. It looks better. It's glowing. It really
Mm-hmm.
is.
I love
So
it.
so that was my first moment that I realized. I said, hey, this stuff really must be working. Maybe I better take a little more. So and then I guess it was about back in I guess 2020, getting towards the end of 2020. I had seen my endocrinologist, but she hadn't mentioned anything, and I thought, well, I'm just going to keep taking it. And then I went to my primary doctor, who I was seeing, and he said to me, well, he's going through the litany of, all the different things that I've done. He goes, oh, good to see that he said, your bone density scan is now normal. And I said, what? As I picked myself off the floor, I said, really? He said,
Wow.
yes. He said, what do you, he said, did you have issues before? And I told him that I had. He goes, well, he goes, obviously that collagen is working and you should be taking it more often. So that's what I've done. So I've continued to do that. And I am so pleased that I have taken the collagen. And then just recently, because I wanted to be more active, I added my MCT oil.
Oh,
So
how are
I
are you adding that with the coffee?
I do. I put it both
Oh,
in there and I'm good for, I'm good for the morning. By the time I put the collagen and the MCT in, I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. It just takes
yeah.
me right through till the afternoon. So, yes, and I'm
Mm,
giving me a lot more energy. And when I say a lot more energy, I have some heart issues. So I needed to start out slowly again and work my way
mhm.
up to walking around. And at this point in time, because I have so much energy, and I attribute it to the MCT oil, I am walking probably 2 miles a day, and my goal is in a
Fantastic.
couple of months to make 4 miles a day. I
Wow.
just keep walking. So that's
Wow. You just went for it. That's a great story, Elaine. So
thanks.
inspiring. And I have to tell you, like your story, what you're saying is, I think it's something a lot of people deal with the frustrations of having an issue and continuing to try to eat well, try to do all the right things and go to the doctor. And the doctor is also doing the best they can, but the only solution often is another pill, you know? What did that feel like when you had already been eating pretty well, already been exercising and doing all the right things with the kettlebells and everything, but still get offered just a pill for your solution? What did
I
that
think
frustration feel like?
it was extremely frustrating, but I am not one to sit back and say, "Yeah, I'm going to take your pills." I'm just not going
Yeah,
to. I've been around the medical field for a long time. I've, investigated things. I used to do that as an investigation and a medical investigator, so I knew that there were other things to do, and so
yeah,
I wasn't going to really sit still and take that. So I decided, well, I'm going to start investigating and I'm going to start, looking to see what I can and cannot do, because I just knew that there were other ways to help solve my issue. And I think
yeah.
I was extremely frustrated, but I just knew that there were other things that I would be able to do.
That's so important because a lot of people will just take the doctor's word for it and they'll just trust that. But often, and I'm a health professional, I can tell you, often it's not getting to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is usually some sort of deficiency or imbalance in some way that has to be corrected. Going, like you said, going back to some of these natural things that are time tested and proven. So I really appreciate you sharing that with us because it gives somebody else hope who might be hearing the same thing from their doctor. They might be hearing this is a pill, it's the only thing you can do, and it's a very scary situation, especially when you're dealing with something that could be like cancer. So that's wonderful.
Yeah. Like I said, I do appreciate it. And not only, am I taking the MCT oil and I'm taking the collagen, I do take turmeric, which,
Mm-hmm.
I know is really great for inflammation. And I've known that for a long time. So I've been taking that for probably 5 years,
Oh, I love it.
even before going on to that. And as I said, there's nothing like helping, your calcium get to where it's going to get as long as you're out in the sun, and there's vitamin D, and
Mm-hmm.
you do all of those things, you combine all of those things, and you come up with a really good, most people come up with a really good result. But the thing is, you have to follow through. It's not something you can
Yeah,
do and change, and change it in a heartbeat. It has to become a lifestyle, and
yeah,
that's what it's become for me. um,
exactly. That's
and
what I
I'm
mean.
imparting that to my kids too, and grandchildren.
That's so
So,
important. So important. Well, how about this? What did you find different about native path collagen?
well, the first thing I found about native path is, first of all, it's a bovine and it's grass fed. It is so easy to put into a cup of coffee, my evening tea, soups. I make my own bone broth, so it's really important, So I put
Yeah,
it in there too, and so I'm getting like a double dose. So, and that's one of the things I think that is really easy. And I tell everybody this. I said, it's got no taste. I
Right.
said, but it's so fantastic. I said, and don't expect it to work within a week. It's not a miracle
Mm-hmm.
drug. It's something that you need to do over time. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, and if you can, if you can continue on that path, on that journey, taking it, you know, I can't imagine anyone wouldn't. As a matter of fact, I had a friend say to me, she took your native path. And I said, now remember, don't give this up right
Yeah.
away. And she's like, oh, she said, I only need type 2. And I said, I'm telling you, don't do
Mm.
it. Well, she came back to me yesterday and she said to me, I got to go back on native path.
I love it. I
It was
love it.
great. It was great hearing her say that because,
Yeah.
I said, I told you, I told you, told you.
Well, it's such a good point because people are conditioned in our society to think if they just take one thing one time, it'll get better. And the native path collagen, it's a food. It's not a medication. So it is
Right.
something we have to replenish. This is a lifetime of being deficient in something, and as we age, our natural production of collagen declines. So it's going to take some time for that collagen to rebuild up. So we're always saying, especially during the first 4 to 6, maybe even 2 months, take upwards of 20 to 40 grams a day, and then allow that collagen to get back into your body, allow you to start absorbing it, see the changes in your bones, your joints, your skin, your nails, your teeth, your tendons, all that stuff. And then after that, you can go down to maybe 10 to 20 grams a day. But I love the way that you're using collagen throughout the day. You mentioned it in your coffee. You also use it in your tea and in your soups. So those are great ways to do that.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And like I said, it doesn't, change the taste of what you're eating, and it only can have, better benefits for you. So,
Mm, I love it. And maybe tell us what life looks like now that your bones have improved, that you're moving around better.
yeah, I feel like I can do so many things. My husband and I, hopefully, when the COVID has, been a little bit better, we can get out and really travel. And we love to travel. We love to go to parks. We love to go to all over the country. We love to be able to do those things. And I can see myself, actually, climbing those steep hills, getting up, going those steps, going those miles, looking at those monuments, and not really worry about my joints giving out. I mean, I
Yeah.
think I was so excited. Like I said to myself, I really don't hurt at all. I never hurt anymore. It's like, I feel pretty good, and that's what I'm really hoping for, as I said, we're both retired now and we both love being active and outdoors, and we're big walkers, and that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to go to the different places and be able to see those things without any fear of,
Mm,
my joints or my muscles hurting or not being able to make it, down, like the path. Like I remember going to the Grand Canyon, and I was like halfway down, and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get back up there again. So I
yeah.
stopped it. So one of the things I'd like to do is go and try to get back down there again and make it up all the
I
way.
love it. I love
Yeah,
it. Well, it sounds like you're doing it with everything that you're doing and walking further and further every day. I think you can make it. I think you
I
can.
hope so.
So,
Thank
well,
you.
is there anything else you might want to say to people who are on the fence with trying collagen and maybe they're just starting out and they're not sure if they should just keep going with it? Anything you want to say to those people?
I always say, please, don't be so hesitant. You're a great company. You stand behind your product. If there's an issue or a problem, you're very responsive. And I would say to go ahead and do it. I would absolutely tell them to go ahead and do it because they have really nothing to lose but their health.
Hmm.
So
Amen.
that's, yeah.
Well, thank you
So
so much, Elaine. This was an amazing story that you shared, and I love the way you shared it. So thank you so much for your time and coming on. I know a lot of people are going to be commenting here pretty soon, and people are already commenting. Actually, they're super inspired. So I just want to say thank you again so much for your time and coming
thank
on
you.
with us.
Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Okay. Have a good one.
You do. Take care.